So, Hoopla, Starfield, Star Citizen. Now, there was a lot of comparisons thrown at CIG and Starfield, and I'm going to preface this right now. Starfield will not be a Star Citizen killer. What it may end up being is a Squadron 42 killer. It also may be something that gets CIG to get the lead out of their pants, so to speak, because this game looks pretty good. Yeah, there's some flaws that I can see in it, but it looks pretty good. And we're gonna check out. I don't have time to go over the entire Starfield Direct. I saw a good portion of it, but we're gonna check out the trailer that came out yesterday, and we're gonna see if we can pull any direct comparisons immediately from Starfield to Squadron 42. So let's go ahead and check this out. Let me make this bigger. So this is the new Starfield trailer. It dropped yesterday after the Xbox Direct or Starfield Direct. I forget what they called it. So we're gonna watch this trailer and not the whole 45-minute episode. And as I said, we're gonna try to dissect it and see what we can compare and not compare about Squadron 42 and Starfield.
Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. The wonder is not that the field of...
I did notice a couple of things here real quick. So, number one, they are using one of the old engines that they've been using. It's been outdated for quite some time. So, that's not to say that you can't create a visually pleasing and well-written story within a video game. Now, I can see on these shadows right here, you can't see where I'm pointing, but on some of these asteroid shadows, the way they kind of creep along and stutter a little bit, but I don't think that's a big deal.
The stars is so vast, but that we have measured it.
Notice they left Fallout 76 off of there.
We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all. What's out there? You're part of Constellation now.
One thing I'm hoping... Good morning, Tanner. How are you? One thing I'm hoping with this is that not every planet is empty, and that only the core planets will have cities on them and have a population on them. I'm hoping that the other planets, which are supposed to be... I'm not sure if they're procedurally generated or randomly generated, will have more than just resources and a few native species that might be hostile towards you. I'm really hoping that there's settlements, derelicts, asteroid bases, and things like that. Now, I did see in the Starfield Direct, or whatever they called it, that there were going to be roaming bands of marauders, pirates, and even religious zealots out in the verse that you can run into, and traders and industrialists and other things going on. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be too empty, but I hope it's not. I don't know. It's a very fine balance to try to what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very fine balance between empty and cluttered. And I hope it's not cluttered, but I hope it's not empty. I hope there's still things to run into and make the gameplay interesting instead of it just being vast emptiness of space and vast emptiness of planets and or moons.
part of our family.
We do not fully understand all that.
The other thing I'm hoping, and I saw it a lot in the Xbox or the Starfield Direct, was they didn't show us what kind of loading times and loading screens we were going to get. So hopefully this isn't a whole bunch of loads after another.
That is at work here.
No finer group in the stars to be unraveling this mystery.
I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
Grab jump is ready. I love this part.
These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel.
Some of this looks really
Human
cool.
settlements throughout the galaxy could be at risk.
I'm not a big fan of how the
We
damage
are not stopping.
is displayed.
Whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever. This is where we belong.
I gotta say, this does look really impressive. September 6th, 2023. Isn't it, it's, look, I know it was delayed and it wasn't on purpose, but it almost seems like it was on purpose, that it's going to be right around CitizenCon and IAE and everything else that makes Star Citizen a lot of money. It's interesting what is this going to mean for CIG? What is it going to mean for, and I keep saying Star Citizen, but what I mean is, what is this going to mean for Squadron 42? I'm going to go off of, because I have just recently looked at all of this stuff, I'm going to go off of what CIG has written in the pitches. I'm going to go off of what CIG, more specifically what Chris Roberts said in the pitch video, and I'm going to go off of what I've seen so far in the vertical slices of Squadron 42. Squadron 42 is Wing Commander 4, or for some of us that didn't play, I played all of them, but for some of the people that did not play, all three of them, that did not play Squadron, or blah, 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 that did not play Wing Commander, this is another X-Wing or TIE Fighter or Descent. It's going to be a very linear story. You go from here to there in your, you know, I'm sure you're going to upgrade your ship as you go along in Squadron 42 from, you know, your basic, you know, every guy's Navy ship to more of the hero ship as you progress through the story. They might throw in some FPS, some cool dialogue choices that might affect the outcome a little bit. But other than that, from what I can understand, Squadron 42 is it's a very linear, on the rail, can't deviate. You go from point A to point B, C, all the way down to Z until the game is completed. Very much like I said with Wing Commander, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Descent, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, etc. I'll pick all of those 90s genre space sims and arcadey space games that came out back then. I don't think it's going to be open like Starfield, and I think that's going to be a problem, because Starfield, well, you could say the engine's older, you can say that the companion system is the exact same from Fallout 4, while you can say a lot of the mods and gun modifications and crafting is exactly taken from Fallout 4, because if you watch the direct, they're going to show you a screen where it's got on the one part of the screen at the bottom, it's got a little crafting station with a computer next to it, and then as it pans up and goes through the starship's floor. The next one up is very much resembles the mod area for guns in Fallout 4. Is that okay to reuse assets? Yeah, some pretty good games have done that. Is it, I mean, look at Call of Duty. Look, I'm not going to insult Star Citizen players' intelligence, because we all know that most of the Star Citizen community is far more intelligent than, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but it's Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. The Star Citizen community's intelligence is usually higher than that of the average Call of Duty player. Them reusing the same assets year after year after year, FIFA reusing the same assets year after year after year. You know, MLB The Show, same. Whatever NBA game, NBA 2K, whatever it's on now, 2K24, 2K24 will be coming out this fall. They reuse the same stuff all the time. The games sell constantly. Yeah, there's microtransactions involved in it, but the games sell constantly. It's okay to reuse assets. It's okay to use an older game engine. If people are going to harp on the fact that Bethesda is using an outdated game engine, so is CIG. They're using a game engine that was outdated 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You know, there is a direct comparison between Squadron 42 and Starfield. Starfield is going to allow you to do far more, from what I can tell, than what Squadron 42 is. And that's just the fact. That's just a fact. As I said, I'm going off of what I've read, the very few vertical slices that we've gotten at various sitcoms, and I'm going off of what has been said on the pitch websites and websites that gather up what Chris Roberts says. This is going to be, Squadron 42 is going to be a branching military campaign that's going to be 90% in your ship and probably 10% FPS. That's probably what it's going to break down to. Starfield is direct competition to Squadron 42. There is no way around it. It is direct competition to Squadron 42. Is it direct competition to Star Citizen and the Persistent Universe? It is not. It's not going to hold a candle to what the Persistent Universe has and will be able to do. But Starfield, I know I'm repeating myself, but Starfield will be direct competition to Squadron 42. There will be at SitCon, at IAE, and all of the Star Citizen lives that they do from now until we get something is going to have the words Starfield in it. People are going to be asking, when is Squadron 42 coming out? We got Starfield coming out. Starfield is doing this. Is Squadron 42 going to have that? Starfield does this. Does Squadron do this? And so on and so on and so on. Just watch. The next Star Citizen Live, they're going to get brigaded with Starfield stuff. Just watch. They're going to get brigaded with it. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next coming. Look, Squadron 4, single player games specifically live and die on two things, in my opinion. One, the quality of them, right? We're talking not just graphics, but the story. And two, are they replayable? I'm going to add a third thing into the mix. Social media. Social media will drive who plays what single player games. Here's my final point on Starfield. Squadron 42 has about a year before people playing Starfield, people that play Star Citizen in the Persistent Universe, start asking some really big questions. And I don't mean the whens and the hows and the whys, but they're going to start asking, why am I pledging? Why am I still giving money to this? They got a year. You know, Marcus said it best yesterday. They have a year, and things are going to get real rocky if they don't start asking questions. So that's where I'm going to leave it with that.